You reach a point in your life where one question becomes unavoidable. Are you becoming the person you promised yourself you'd be, or are you delaying her for later? That question sits with you. It lingers in the background of your thoughts. It shows up in the moment when you're alone with self, yourself, the moments you don't post. And whether you realize it or not, that question is the doorway to your next identity. Because every day, you're making decisions about who you are, even when you think you're doing nothing. Most people wait for big signs. They wait for clarity, motivation, the perfect moment, a dramatic turning point. But here's the truth. You're finally ready to hear. Your life doesn't change through loud declarations. It changes through quiet decisions. The decisions no one witnesses, no one celebrates, no one even knows exist. Those are the decisions that rewrite your life from the inside out. And the real reason you're here today, watching this, is because you're right on the edge of one of those decisions. You can feel it. Let's talk about it. Most people live at 50% of who they could become. Not because they aren't capable, but because staying the same feels safe. They hit snooze because getting up earlier means facing their potential. They scroll because silence makes them confront their patterns. They procrastinate because starting something new risks failures and success. They say maybe tomorrow because today feels too real. They choose comfort over growth, routine over evolution, excuses over responsibility. But here's what no one teaches you. Every excuse is an identity. Every habit is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. And this is why it feels so hard to change. You're not just trying to build habits, you're trying to become someone you haven't met yet. And that version of you, she requires choices the current you finds uncomfortable. So the question becomes, are your habits aligned with your future or protecting your past? Because let's be honest, you already know what's holding you back. You feel the tension between who you are and who you could be. And that tension is not a problem. The tension is an invitation. Here's the part that people don't understand. Most successful people in the world, the entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, leaders, don't transform through dramatic actions alone. They transform through quiet consistency. Kobe Bryant didn't become Kobe because he announced he was going to be great. He became Kobe because he showed up in empty gyms at 4 a.m. when no one was watching. Maya Angelou didn't become Maya because she waited for inspiration. She sat down every day, disciplined, devoted, even when the words didn't flow. Steve Jobs didn't change the world because he shouted about his vision. He worked obsessively behind the scenes, long before the world caught up. And the same principle applies to your life. The quiet choices you make when nobody's watching are the loudest statements about who you're becoming. Anyone can make a bold announcement. Anyone can post their goals. Anyone can talk about change. But very few people follow through on the small, unglamorous actions that build character, identity, and destiny. You can be one of the few. There comes a moment, and this might be your moment, where you realize something powerful. You've been living below your potential, not because you can't rise, but because you haven't chosen yet. You've been waiting for confidence, waiting for direction, waiting for motivation, waiting for a version of yourself that magically appears ready. But readiness is a myth. You don't become ready before you act. You become ready because you acted. Everything changes the moment you tell yourself, I am done shrinking for people who benefit from my smallness. I am done betraying the future version of myself. I am done pretending I don't know what I want. I am done waiting for permission. This is your identity shift. Not loud, not dramatic. Here's what no one tells you about choosing yourself quietly. Your life begins to align effortlessly. People call it luck. You call it self-respect. Opportunities respond to people who move with certainty. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing applause to feel legitimate. You start becoming the person others look to for direction. Your energy becomes sacred. The moment you stop wasting energy on explanations and excuses, you unlock an entirely new level of power. You build a reputation without trying. Consistency makes you magnetic. Quiet progress makes you undeniable. You outgrow that version of you who tolerated less. The things you used to accept, low effort, low standards, low environments, no longer match your identity. And that shift, it's irreversible. You don't need huge steps, you need meaningful ones. Here are 5 quiet decisions that will change everything for you. 1. Choose the harder thing once a day. Wake up 5 minutes earlier. Finish the task you've been delaying. Go for the walk instead of scrolling. Make the call. Start the project. Small discipline compounds into quiet confidence. 2. Protect your morning like it's sacred. No phones, no chaos, no reacting. You set the tone. Your day should not begin with other people's noise. This is where identity is reinforced. 3. Do one thing every day your future self will thank you for. Learn a skill. Save a small amount. Study something meaningful. Practice consistency. 5 years from now, this becomes your unfair advantage. 4. Remove one low-value habit a week. Get rid of the scrolling, gossip, overthinking, self-doubt, clutter, complaining. You'll be shocked how light you feel when you stop feeding your old identity. 5. Keep one promise to yourself daily. It doesn't matter what the promise is. What matters is you kept it. Self-trust is built in silence, and it changes everything you touch. So you're not doing this to be more productive. You're doing it because behavior shapes identity. Every disciplined choice says, I am someone who follows through. Every refusal to shrink says, I am someone who takes up space. Every quiet decision says, I am someone who is becoming. You are no longer waiting for external validation. You are building a foundation internally. And here's the truth. You are finally ready to accept. You don't rise when life becomes easier. You rise when you become someone who doesn't collapse under difficulty. Discipline is not rigidity. Discipline is devotion. Discipline is self-respect in motion. For the next 7 days, I want you to practice this. 1. One hard choice. 2. One morning protected. 3. One promise kept. 4. One future self-action. 5. One old habit removed. Not for perfection, not for aesthetics, but for identity. Do it quietly. Do it privately. Do it because this is who you're becoming. I promise you this. 7 days from now, something in you will shift. You will feel a steadiness, a clarity, a strength that feels new but also familiar, like returning home to yourself. Because that's what this truly is: a returning, a remembering, a rising. Some people wait their entire lives for perfect moments to become who they're meant to be. You are not most people. You're here because you're ready. You're here because you're capable. You're here because your future self is pulling you forward. You're here because you know, quietly, it's time. If you want more content that speaks to the parts of your life you don't post about, subscribe. And if you're ready to step fully into the next version of yourself, tap the link in the description. Let's begin.